The countdown is on.
It's like hurry up and wait because that bell is going to ring.
On Monday, students head back to class. From your child's mental health.
That brain is not getting developed when you're isolated.
To their safety.
We definitely have a minimum of at least one officer on every campus.
And the future of AI.
This is something that can follow them for the rest of their lives.
Now, a WPBF 25 Back to School special. Here are Nathalie Pozo, Aaron Guy, and Stephen Graves.
The final weekend of summer is here. Students and teachers are going back to school.
It is quite a challenge to pull off, especially for Palm Beach County. The district has 189,000 students.
A massive undertaking. So I checked in with the police chief and the superintendent to talk about everything from security to cell phones.
The Palm Beach County School District is the 5th largest district in the state, the 10th largest in the country.
We had a really strong school year this past year, so we want to keep that positive momentum and keep moving to where all students are reaching their highest potential.
Superintendent Mike Burke has led the A-rated district since 2021. Sitting down this year, he talks safety always being a top priority and building on last year's success.
And then last year, we also had a heavy focus on early literacy, and I want to build upon that success. We had a lot of focus on phonics and how we teach reading to young students, and that was paying good dividends, so we're going to keep that up. And I'm also excited about we're in year 2 of our transition to kindergarten program.
A hot topic around the country and South Florida is how to handle cell phone use in schools. Burke says he's happy with their current policy.
The phone should be put away during instruction. Phones are available before school, after school, and you know the parents are the ones paying for these phones. So they're sending their kid to school with the phone, I think, for a reason. And I think some of these counties that have taken like a harsher approach with the bans, all and out bans, or confiscating phones, I think that could prove to be problematic.
Managing 180 district-wide schools is a big job. Keeping everyone safe equally is challenging. School District Police Chief Sarah Mooney says right now she's working to be fully staffed for day one.
We are continuing to hire. We are still partnering with our local municipalities to supplement the staffing on our campuses. We definitely have a minimum of at least one officer on every campus.
After the tragedy at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in 2018, the state rolled out a program called Fortify FL. It's an app that's still widely used to report threats or concerns.
Fortify Florida app is probably one of our best reporting mechanisms for students or staff, or anybody for that matter, to report either anonymously. It could be a threat, it could be a concern for somebody's health or welfare. It's given us the opportunity to do some intervention with some students that maybe another student was concerned about.
Another evolving conversation in the department, artificial intelligence.
Any of the technology in what we're doing day in and day out, it changes very rapidly. So to try to stay ahead of what is AI and what is not from a safety and security standpoint.
Useful in the classroom, a challenge for police.
False alarms and that kind of thing. You hear about swatting and different things that are automated that may generate from AI. That's a concern. And then just kids that may dabble in different applications of AI could cause problems on the campuses.
Over the last year, Mooney has added layers of security, including metal detectors in high schools.
There were some nuances according to the character of the campus itself, so we worked through those individually. But as far as flaws go, I don't think so. I think it went pretty well. We had a lot of buy-in from the students and the staff to help make it a successful kickoff. So we're looking forward to implementing it full scale in the high schools.
She said the process has had a learning curve, but overall calls it a success.
It was a learning curve on the front end. We did not find any firearms. We did not confiscate weapons as a result of using the metal detectors, but it was good because we were able to kind of do like an information piece with that so that students and parents would kind of maybe think about, do I have something in my backpack I shouldn't have?
And every high school in Palm Beach County now has a metal detector. In fact, the district will be helping Broward County launch their metal detector system.
On the Treasure Coast, Martin, St. Lucie, and Okeechobee do not have any. In Indian River County, Vero Beach and Sebastian River High Schools do have them.
Well, now to some new policies and laws.
Yeah, first, let's talk about school safety. All entrances and exits must be locked while students are in the building.
Second, the Parents' Bill of Rights. It now includes bathrooms. Students can only use one assigned to their gender at birth.
Also, when it comes to books, people without kids in a school district can only challenge one book a month. Before, it was unlimited.
And lastly, right now, state law says districts can ban phones during instructional time.
On the Treasure Coast, we are getting a sneak peek at the brand new facilities at South Fork High School and Stewart Middle School. Here's a look at the new high school gym. Crews used part of the old gym floor to decorate the walls outside. The front office and media center at the high school have also been renovated. And this is video of the new administration building and media center at Stewart Middle School. We checked with the district and they say these renovated areas will be ready for the first day of school. And those aren't the only changes students will notice when they head back to class in Martin County. As Yasmin Julmis explains, the district has been busy preparing for new start times this fall, as well as welcoming new staff.
We are well ahead of where we were this time last year with teachers.
Superintendent Michael Main is entering year 2 with the Martin County School District. While school has been out for the summer, his team's been working to bring teachers in.
I'm very, very proud of the work of our HR team and our recruitment efforts.
The district has also been working hard at keeping teachers. Following alarming teacher retention statistics, Maine says the district has been intentional about having additional support staff, providing more training, and gathering feedback from educators.
If we're showing them that we're acting upon some of these things to help resolve them and to make their job a little more palatable each day, then that's where we keep morale higher.
Maine says another part of supporting teachers includes strict enforcement of the no cell phone rule. Last year, a Florida law went into effect banning students from using cell phones in the classroom.
If you want your kiddos to have a cell phone, they can have a cell phone, but it needs to be away and in their backpack.
Over the summer, the Martin County School Board upped the ante, revising the student conduct policy to allow staff to take phones away if they're seen during class.
I'm a father of 4. My girls will attend our school district. My oldest is in middle school. She has a cell phone. She's going to have to abide by the same rules as everybody else.
If a student breaks the rule and their phone is taken, parents pick the device up at the end of the day. And if a parent needs to get in touch with their child,
the old-fashioned way of calling the front office, the way we did when we were in school. The front office staff will get a message to their student.
Another change this school year, some extra sleep for older students. A Florida law passed last year requires school districts to push back the start times of middle schools to 8 a.m. and high schools to 8:30 a.m. Districts have to make the change by the 2026-2027 school year, but Martin County schools are starting now. Start times only had to change by 10 minutes.
A lot of school districts are having to move by 30, 40 minutes, sometimes an hour.
Because the district is making the change 2 years early, the superintendent says they tapped into $62,000 in grant funding to buy some new technology.
Parents can now download the MyReaxium app to track their child's bus. Setup instructions are being sent out via email. Parents, be on the lookout for a message in your inbox. Yasmin Julmis, WPBF 25 News.
The Martin County School District is helping families do their back-to-school shopping.
All students will receive free school supplies, including pens, markers, and folders. Parents say this helps them save money to put towards other necessities like sneakers and even uniforms or other clothes. The district allocated about $300,000 from the budget this year.
Roughly half of our students qualify for free and reduced lunch, just to put things into perspective. And you know, we're all about educating our students, making sure they're in the best position to succeed.
That'll be so helpful. Families will still need to get backpacks, calculators, and all those other school-related items. Regardless, the school district parents, now is your chance to save money. The state's back-to-school sales tax holiday is now underway, but you need to act fast. Through Sunday, you won't have to pay sales tax on clothes and shoes that cost $100 or less. Most school supplies that cost $50 or less will also be tax-free. You can also save money on computers and tablets selling for $1,500 or less.
Up next, looking at the way kids learn.
It goes back to the
old style structure of teaching and learning.
A different way of teaching on the Treasure Coast, how it may help students. Plus,
you can be a great role model in the home, but then there's that other monster, which is social media.
There is no way of problem solving because you constantly have something popping up at you, not with you.
the mental health of your children through parents' and therapists' eyes.
WPBF 25 and the First Warning Weather Team are excited to be the exclusive broadcast partners of the Cox Science Center and Aquarium.
Learn about science and weather from the most experienced team in the Palm Beaches and Treasure Coast.
At the WPBF 25 First Warning Weather Exhibit, you can make your own forecast. Feel hurricane force winds and put your hand inside a tornado.
See the WPBF 25 First Warning Weather Exhibit from the #1 weather team. Visit the Cox Science Center and Aquarium today.
The new school year begins Monday, so we're going on record with every school superintendent in the area about what parents and students need to expect on the first day of school and in the months ahead. Sunday morning at 10 on WPBF 25.
At National Floors Direct, get one room of genuine Mohawk hardwood flooring installed for just $9.99. The floor you've always wanted for just $9.99 with no interest for a full year. Call National Floors Direct at 888-400-FLOOR. We bring the store to your door.
There are a few places where you know you'll hear the truth, and this is one of them.
With HealthSun Health Plans, life is a piece of cake with access to exclusive providers that take care of all my medical needs, and all under the same roof.
It's like a Medicare makeover. With HealthSun, every year you can receive $1,978 back in your Social Security check, $600 for OTC items, and much more. Take it from me. I'm Mr. Sunshine. Your health deserves a 5-star plan. Call us today.
I'm attorney Lance Ivy. Disaster struck on this bridge, and 79-year-old Carol Wright lost her life. It was tragic and totally preventable.
From the get-go of this entire incident with my aunt, the only goal was to make changes to the operation systems of drawbridges. Lance made that happen. Secondary to that was the amount of over $8 million, which we never, ever expected.
Lionel Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Frarath. Visit us at foryourrights.com.
Protecting your home from severe weather doesn't have to be complicated. Since 1996, StormSmart has made getting the best storm protection easy. Our storm catcher screens and aluminum shutters are designed and manufactured here in Florida, so your experience from purchase through installation will be seamless. And with impact windows and doors, we have products that make any opening in your home safer, more functional, and more beautiful. Because smart is making it easy to protect your home, and smart is simple. Call StormSmart today for your free in-home consultation.
You're watching a WPBF 25 Back to School special.
On the Treasure Coast, Indian River County continues to take an innovative community input approach in enacting new school policies each year.
They are also protecting the school counselor positions and mental health jobs within the schools. Sandra Shaw went one-on-one with the district superintendent.
Community input. That's what school leaders feel is critical in Indian River County.
My philosophy is that we are here to provide a service to our community. And if there's a demand within the community, then the public school system needs to be able to meet that demand.
One of the changes the superintendent is calling for, offering the option of a classic model of education to families. It's being proposed for at least one magnet school. The classic model differs from other teaching methods by focusing on critical thinking and analytical skills.
It goes back to the old style structure of teaching and learning where students have the opportunity to memorize, go through rote, and engage with the classics.
The district is also assessing the effectiveness of its 4 STEAM elementary schools. They say parents want more.
To drastically shift what that experience looks like to ensure that it is in fact state-of-the-art technology, robotics, integrating curriculum throughout the child's experience, all of the contents coming together.
Indian River County remains proactive with its school security, continuing with metal detectors in its 2 high schools.
The time is now to do it. We are able to operationalize it in partnership with our Sheriff's Department extremely quickly. The habits and behaviors have already been set. We'll have it in place at the opening of schools for both of our high schools this year.
The district also has zero tolerance when it comes to cell phones.
Cell phones are away since the time the bell rings in our school system. That has increased the volume of instruction drastically.
Indian River County raised their teacher salaries. The superintendent says they went from 28th in the state to 6th in the state over the last year. Additionally, they are protecting counseling and mental health jobs within the school system from budget cuts. Sandra Shaw, WPBF 25 News.
Recent studies have found it is a top priority for parents. Children's mental health. Disturbing stats show a rise in conditions.
And to break the stigma of mental health, we have to talk about it, which is exactly what we did with parents and experts from the Center for Child Counseling. Tracy, you have a son in high school. What's on your mind?
Well, for me, I think you can be a great role model in the home, but then there's that other monster, which is social media. And how I feel like as a young teenager, young man, I just don't want him to be influenced by what he sees on social media, that he feels like that's how life is supposed to be.
We're in a world where social media feels so pervasive. We all put our best selves forward when we're on social media. But I think reminding others that that's one snapshot that has been very purposefully curated is important, and they don't always look like that.
What is driving the mental health crisis right now in our country?
I think social media perpetuates such intense social comparison that we're all striving for this unrealistic expectation and putting all of this really unmanageable pressure on ourselves.
Social media seems to be a very hot topic amongst us right now. Danica, you have a 6-year-old daughter at home. Social media may be not a huge concern right now, but it will be down the road.
She's moving into first grade, and I'm thinking about changing schools for her because the school that she's been going to, they have recess maybe once a week, maybe once a month. They don't do recess every day, which to me, I think that is negative. I think that they don't have that break, and mentally, I think that's very hard. I feel like it's affecting her.
I think play is a crucial aspect for how children learn how to navigate their environment.
The brain is not getting developed when you're isolated, right? Through play, as Mackenzie was saying, our brain develops. We learn how to problem solve. We learn how to be more independent, right? Children learn these things, and to Tracy's point, it's not just 6-year-olds and 5-year-olds, it goes back to 17-year-olds, where they are, through social interactions, they learn the acceptance of responsibility, delay of gratification, right? With social media, all of those are different, actually opposite. That immediate gratification is right there. There is no way of problem solving because you constantly have something popping up at you, not with you, right?
Even with my own kids, I think the emotional regulation thing is really difficult. I've got a 7-year-old who, kind of has tantrums, and just even as a parent trying to deal with, navigating how to help him in a patient way, but also set boundaries, not just allow him to just do whatever. So, I think that choices always help, even with 17-year-olds. And to your point, it's very difficult because they're very impulsive. The problem solving is still not fully developed, right? And they want that immediate gratification, right? So allowing them, delaying that gratification, I think helps, like setting some responsibilities before they get to enjoy their time, but also setting giving them options, but not too many, right? So teaching them through experiences and to activities how to problem solve, right? Giving them that independence, right, in an appropriate way to just really do things on their own and to fail and to succeed again, right?
So I'm the parent of a single child, and so I think COVID changed things a lot for single kids. They've become more reserved. They're more mature than other kids who have siblings, at least. How can we help such kids be kids? Because I think my son is way older than what he's supposed to be mentally, so that's not right. I sometimes feel it's not healthy for him.
How can we expect a little one to keep it all together if that's not what they're seeing and we're not co-regulating with them? And I also feel like when we're modeling just being playful, like we were talking about earlier, it's something that is a little bit of a permission for them to be goofy and silly and a kid. Because as an only child, I definitely agree with you. I was behaving like a little adult as a child instead of my peers being a little bit more playful. and now recognizing the importance of play. I think it's important as a stress reliever, but also as a bonding moment for you and your child, just to do something fun and silly together and give that kind of permission that they don't have to be keeping it all together at all times.
We sometimes get into that trap of, let me answer this one email. Let me just see what these people are doing on social media. So we get trapped in that. So just making sure, I always say, I'm gonna lock my phone for 2 hours when I get home, and so I have that time, because they need to also feel important. If they feel important, they're gonna build themselves up, right? The self-esteem will be healthy. But a lot of times when you're looking at the phone and they're trying to engage us, they're like, well, I'm not important, right? This phone is more important than I am.
We as the parents are the example, so we have to be that example at home.
What are the things that we could do to kind of like help the ones that's doing the bullying in school that's causing the trauma to these other kids?
I would say, especially now, it's more dominant because of the effects of just the world and social media, and kids just cannot process that much information in such short time, as much information as they're getting from social media and different sources. One of the things I would say is that for both bullies and those that are bullying, it's important to continue that communication, to find that source of who is the safety for those kids, right? Because as much as they are bullying or being bullied, in many cases they feel isolated. They feel that they're alone, and we know that those healthy outcomes come from positive experiences, right?
Coming up, it's one of life's biggest challenges, going from high school to college.
Celebrate the great times and smile during the challenging times.
Local students and parents share what they wish they knew about the major transition. And settling into a new Florida school, what families need to know for the first day.
When you say let's go to breakfast, you mean let's go to McDonald's. Obviously. Mix and match an Egg McMuffin and Sausage McMuffin with egg, 2 for $5. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
This hurricane season, download the WPBF 25 News app. The only local app warning you first with personalized push alerts, live interactive radar, and our Hurricane Ready Guide all in one place. Download the WPBF 25 News app.
Thank you for donating to the WPBF 25 School Supply Drive and making it a big success.
Just trying to make ends meet, getting the kids ready for the beginning of school, this is huge.
Because of your generosity, thousands of kids have supplies to start the school year off right.
Just help them put their best foot forward as they go back to school.
Just can't thank you enough for letting us be part of this.
WPBF 25, the Boys and Girls Club, and our proud partners say thank you.
Back to school time, it means a time of excitement, a lot of what's gonna happen next. Here at WPBF 25, we're always gonna get you the news you need to know before you head out the door, because we know we play a vital part in just your everyday morning getting ready for that school routine. And so it's really important for us to be on top of things. Same goes for your weather as well as traffic. We wanna make sure when you go to work, when you drop your kids off at school, you're informed.
Hi, I'm Scott Smith with Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather Florida Injury Lawyers. This is Tank. Tank is a 175-pound Neapolitan Mastiff. Tank is huge and powerful. Our law firm's purpose is to provide legal power for our clients. Our mission is to secure huge results. If you've been injured, let us put our legal power to work for you in fighting for your huge result. Call us at 500-HELP. HELP is just a local phone call away.
Hi, I'm Shelly. Now you can get beautiful windows and Turtle Tough protection from Florida Window and Door.
Now, buy one, get one free. Buy a window, get a window free. Buy a door, get a door free. Call 866-5SHELLY for this amazing offer from Florida Window and Door.
When it's time for new windows, they better be Turtle Tough. Give me a call. 866-5SHELLY. Florida Window and Door.
Looking for a reason to try the new $5 meal deal at McDonald's? Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the price makes 5.
So much.
That's everything you get with the new $5 meal deal at McDonald's.
Let me
me throw this stat at you. The Florida Chamber of Commerce says over the last couple of years, more than 1 million people have moved right here to the state of Florida. That means a lot of people to our area, which means you're navigating new schools. So let me show you how you can make sure you've got all the information you need and everything you need to know before your student goes to a new school. Let's start in Palm Beach County, the biggest district in our area. This is their homepage. If you go down to the bottom, look, they have a special tab right here, new to the district. You click on that, scroll down, there are so many resources, and right here, if you're a new student, everything you need to know, from transportation to getting a school lunch, athletics, even scholarship and financial aid, which can always be very, very helpful. Let's go to St. Lucie County on the Treasure Coast, and if you go to the Our District tab, that's right at the top of the page, right here, new to the district. Scroll down. All of this is for new students and new families. Student assignments, programs you can enroll in, career and technical education, even transportation if your child's going to ride the bus. Everything you need to know right here. You're going to have questions, and that's okay. And these sites have everything you need to know. Under our Back to School section, we've got links to all of the websites to help you as your student navigates a new school.
Ahead, rapid growth impacting communities on the Treasure Coast.
It doesn't even look like the same county I moved to 9 years ago.
How a surge in new students is impacting local schools. Plus,
we have really good working relationships with our families, and we want them to reach out.
Ensuring a smooth transition for the school year. What you can do now to help your child adjust.
This week on Matter of Fact.
He loves homeschool. Homeschooling is on the rise, but what's being done to make sure these students still get the education they need?
Bucks, Bengals, live Saturday night at 7, and WPBF 25 is your exclusive home for all the preseason gridiron action. Bucks, Bengals, Saturday at 7, only on WPBF 25.
Right now, there's just so much happening in our world. So much at stake at the start of every morning.
And so much happening
right here in South Florida.
Making sense of it all, that's not always so easy.
And that's where we come in.
Getting you the news as it breaks.
What happened overnight?
What's going to happen today?
Starting your day off bright.
And yes, putting a smile on your face too.
WPBF 25 News Mornings and Good Morning America.
We want you to know
we're right here, and we got you.
Watch everywhere, every day.
Are you tired of feeling embarrassed about your smile? Do you want to eat your favorite foods again without discomfort? Look no further than Ferber Dental Group. Our team of specialists uses the latest technology to create custom full mouth restorations, including the popular All-On-X procedure. And the best part? We design your smile entirely in-house so you can get back to your daily routine with a brand new smile in no time. Contact Ferber Dental Group today at 561-867-6808 to schedule your appointment.
Experience the world through two different lenses. The Schmidt Boca Raton History Museum presents Dual Perspectives, a summer exhibit featuring the photography of Courtney Gilbert and Peter Lorber. Explore how two photographers see the same places differently. Visit bocahistory.org for more information.
Ready?
The power of sanctuary. Discover it for yourself at the Lincoln Summer Invitation. Lease the 2024 Lincoln Nautilus Premier for $515 a month for 36 months with $5,051 cash due at signing.
You didn't ask to get into a car wreck, and you certainly didn't ask to get into a fight. But here you are, injured, out of work, and the bills are piling up. The insurance company, they want to fight you on everything. Fight you on your medical bills, fight you on your repair bills. You didn't pick this fight, but you can pick who finishes it. Call the Lebovic Law Group, your warriors for justice. The insurance company knows we just love a good fight.
You're watching a WPBF 25 Back to School special.
Pandemic learning loss is still a major concern, but new details show students are making up the learning gap.
So take a look at the Math Fast, the Florida Assessment of Student Thinking scores. This shows the percentage of students who scored at a level 3 or above. All 5 of our local districts and the state average saw an increase compared to the last academic year. All 5 of our local counties also saw scores increase last year for language arts.
The Florida Department of Education released new school district grades recently. Palm Beach County improved this past academic year, jumping back to an A rating after they dropped to a B last year. Indian River County is the only other district in our viewing area with an A rating. St. Lucie Public Schools and the Martin County School District both maintained a B. Okeechobee County School District has a C.
Right now in St. Lucie County, take a look. Construction continues on Legacy High School. It's slated to open 1 year from now, August of 2025, right on Crosstown Parkway. The school will be more than 250,000 square feet and is expected to be able to host 2,000 students. It comes as the population of Tradition continues to rapidly grow. That high school is being built as demand for St. Lucie County schools soars. The county is one of the fastest growing areas in the nation. I spoke with the superintendent about what this means for how they tackle safety, teacher morale, and policies. Dr. John Prince is heading into year 3 as superintendent of St. Lucie County Schools and a total of 9 years in the district.
It doesn't even look like the same county I moved to 9 years ago. It's completely transformed.
Over the next decade, they expect about 60,000 new single-family homes in the county. More students and families, Dr. Prince says, means safety is paramount.
We've really got to focus on what we already have in place to keep kids safe.
That was his response when we asked about metal detectors. With more districts exploring that option, he says they focus on other means. He points to using buzz-in systems, only one entry area, and locking all outside doors.
I want kids to have a school experience, that they're not passing through a metal detector in order to go and learn.
The superintendent said he relies on staff to enforce safety. Over the summer, the district working to fill teacher vacancies across 42 schools. Dr. Prince says that's better than where they were last year at this time, and they continue to retain a majority of staff. There's a lot of stress right now on teachers. How are you supporting their mental health?
Student achievement can't happen without effective teachers, and we have to treat them like they're the #1 priority in the system.
He points to wellness programs and surveys twice a year to support teachers. Education, though, also comes with responsibility to ensure students learn without the negative influence of artificial intelligence.
We're really trying to focus on AI applications and responsible usage, and not just responsible usage, but the ethical usage of AI. The genie is already out of the bottle.
Dr. Prince says policies around AI are being written right now. At the end of the day, he says he understands student pressure around safety, policies, and social life, but he hopes no matter what a student is going through at home, school is an enjoyable place.
When they come to school, they've got somebody that's going to care and advocate for them. And I think that that's what we have to offer in St. Lucie County.
Well, definitely a growing community, that's for sure. Okay, as a mom, I know this well. Going back to school after being off for the summer, it's a big transition for kids.
That's especially true if they're heading from elementary to middle school or middle to high school. I spoke with Dr. Lilia Neidel, a counsel with St. Lucie Public Schools. She says parents should not be afraid to reach out and connect with them so that school staff and families can work together to set up kids for success. Even something as simple as having a quick meeting with you and your child and the school counselor can help ease anxiety.
Let them know ahead of time that we have like a mini plan in place without actually writing a plan.
Dr. Neidel says it's important parents know structure and routine are very important when it comes to easing anxiety. It's just one of life's biggest transitions, right? Becoming an adult and going to college. Preparing for that starts early, but still, kids and parents, they encounter unexpected challenges.
I found some students who just finished their freshman year at Palm Beach State College and asked what they wish they would have known.
One piece of advice that I would have for new students would be to look for grants, especially for engineering degrees. There's a lot of push, STEM in general, actually.
Get out of your comfort zone and network and try these different things, even if you don't think you're gonna get them, because you never know and it doesn't hurt to try.
My biggest piece of advice for upcoming students would be to find a balance between workload and socializing, because a lot of times you can get caught up, especially on assignments, midterms, finals. You get caught up in that workload and you need to find a balance to socialize, take a step back. That way you can move a few steps forward.
taking longer to complete your degree is way better than being racked with debt or student loans. So if you have to take a break, take one.
Something I wish I would have known going into college was how beneficial it is going to a community college rather than going to a university. I feel like there is more opportunity for students to get scholarships or to just have a better connection with your professors.
Everything you find in your way, investigate and do research about it, because probably you will use it in your future career.
Always stay cool, calm, and collected. Celebrate the great times and smile during the challenging times. Don't let the negativity eat at you, and know that there is the light at the end of the tunnel.
Pretty good advice, right?
Yeah.
I think looking for those financial opportunities early will help ease some stress levels as well. Many of those students mentioning the money of college, and they had good advice. Things to think about.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, finances and also just scholarships and grants that you can look out for.
Absolutely. Well, the stress and worry about leaving high school is also a big transition for parents. So we talked to parents who just went through it all as well.
As a parent, my biggest piece of advice would be to first see if your high school student could do dual enrollment. It helps cut down on the financial cost. It also gives them it gives them time to understand the syllabus and the outline for a college course compared to high school.
Que a veces tenemos hijos por primera generación.
Sometimes we have children that are first generation, so us as parents do not have the experiences that our children have. So my recommendation is that we push our children to take advanced courses so they can be awarded scholarships.
A big piece of advice I have for parents is to be very open-minded about the colleges that your children would be attending. I wish that I would have been more open to learn more about the local colleges that have so much to give to our students.
Aconsejarles que se envuelvan en actividades de la escuela.
I would advise them to get involved in school activities so it would help in opening up more with other students. Get more involved with the professors. It will make their path easier down the road.
One piece of advice that I would give to parents who are concerned with rising tuition costs, like I was, is to look into local trade programs at a local state college. Lo más importante es el tiempo.
The most important thing is time. Time goes by very quickly. If you study or do not study, it will happen no matter what. So the best thing is to take advantage of the time in the best way, and the best way is when you are young on the college track.
One of the things I have found that has been very advantageous for me with my 3 sons is to have family time. Having dinner, whether we're watching anime, just quiet time where we're all talking 1 day a week.
That's something she started young, and we could all start to do. It would really be helpful. It's really a transition for everyone in the household. So thank you to the students and parents who shared their experiences.
Yeah, really great advice there. And also, not just the financial and the college life, but also I love how they spoke about the social aspect as well, which is important. Yeah.
Well, now to a controversial and alarming trend here, the concerning rise of AI-generated nude images being circulated among students. This technology poses serious ethical and legal challenges, raising questions about privacy and consent. Here's Sandra Shaw.
Whenever it's, a 4th grader, a 5th grader, of course they don't understand the consequences of what they're doing. They probably weren't even aware that it was a crime.
Attorney Stephanie Cagnett-Myron is on a mission. She is a voice for victims.
It is a felony to create a private sexual image of another person. It's a fake image. It's not really them, but it looks like them.
In December last year, police say 2 Miami middle school boys were accused of using AI to create fake nude photos of their classmates. Both were arrested on felony charges and suspended from school.
With children, it's much worse because this is something that can follow them for the rest of their lives.
Closer to home, the Martin County Sheriff's Office made their first ever child pornography arrest connected to AI. They say Daniel Warren sexually manipulated the image of a neighbor's child. Warren was charged with multiple counts of child pornography and video voyeurism.
What he does, he takes the face of a child, and then he sexualizes that, removes the clothing, and poses the child and engages them in certain sexual activity, and that's the images that he's making with this AI.
Myron says it's difficult to get these photos off the internet. Even if one site removes the image, the reach could extend to other platforms. She says laws favor the apps and tech companies right now.
I get a lot of calls from parents. What do I do? My first thing I ask them is your child, is there a counselor, a therapist, someone like that your child can talk to that they trust?
If therapy isn't an option, there is online help. For example, The Human Factor, a consulting group, recently came out with a questionnaire for students and parents to help start a conversation. Either way, this new era of technology is presenting new challenges for students, parents, and teachers.
There should be, some type of liability there. If they know that their app is specifically targeting youth in this way, well, then there should be some accountability, but we're not there yet.
And to find that questionnaire, just go to WPBF.com.
As far as the laws go, Florida has ones addressing possession and creation of these types of images.
There are no federal laws, but a bipartisan group of senators is pushing for the Take It Down Act, which would criminalize these acts.
Straight ahead, ensuring access to food. The school's offering free meals to students this year. Plus,
these are people that have a lot of experience around our students anyway, and it's a way to advance their career.
Growing employees within while filling open positions. The program addressing the teacher shortage.
Stories of joy, adventure, and triumph. Discover these stories and the moments that bring us all together on Stitch, now streaming on Very Local.
This hurricane season, download the WPBF 25 News app. The only local app warning you first with personalized push alerts, live interactive radar, and our Hurricane Ready Guide all in one place. Download the WPBF 25 News app.
Tune in with me for some classical classics.
How do the rabbit? Kill the rabbit.
Classical classic cartoons.
Figaro, 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 Figaro. Kill the rabbit. Figaro.
Weekdays at 7 on MeTV South Florida.
What keeps us going during storm season? It's not the what, it's the who. It's the helpful neighbors, the extra milers, and the early risers. And when a storm hits, Florida needs a power company that's ready. At FPL, we're working every single day to build a stronger grid, so you get the reliable electricity you need in good weather and bad. FPL, working for you every single day.
Going back to school? Here's a lesson from Burlington. Get the brands they love at prices that are unbelievable. The math is simple. Get more, spend less. Wow! Burlington. Deals, brands, wow!
Downtown West Palm Beach is the county's waterfront hub for you to explore, experience, savor, sip, and stay in year-long summertime. From global planes to high-speed trains, historical sites to Broadway lights, carnivores to herbivores, taps galore to crafted pours, rooftop views to Sunday snooze, and shoreline to skyline, downtown West Palm Beach is your destination to play in the center of paradise.
Watching a WPBF 25 Back to School special.
As e-bikes grow in popularity, there are growing concerns about their safety.
Yeah, traffic anchor Yasmin Julmus looks into how one local city is thinking ahead.
Here, you want a helmet?
Luke Landay is 14 and is starting 9th grade at Jupiter High School.
I ride my bike a lot of places that my mom or my dad can't take me. To go places with my friends, to get food. A lot of times get food, probably the most time.
Where, downtown Abacoa?
Downtown Abacoa, Alton.
Luke and his friend Bryce Weinberg say they've seen more kids their age riding e-bikes, which are more powerful and go as fast as 30 miles per hour.
I remember riding my e-bike around 2 years ago when I first got it. Didn't see any kids. Now you'll see everyone on their e-bikes. Like, it's crazy.
Jupiter Police Chief David England agrees.
Every year there seems to be more and more of them, and these bikes, they go very fast compared to a typical bicycle.
England, who was born and raised in Jupiter, says most of the riders are middle and high school kids. And while they haven't had any serious crashes in school zones, they are problem areas.
Jupiter Middle School and Independence Middle School down in Abacoa, and that's where we see the highest number or the highest concentration of e-bikes.
England says the biggest issues are people going too fast and endangering pedestrians or cutting across the double yellow lines.
We have had one significant crash with a young man who ran into the side of a car. Luckily, he's okay.
To increase safety awareness this year, the Jupiter Police Department is doing an educational campaign online, in the schools, and on the streets.
We're also going to do some special details where we're going to put some police officers on bicycles out the first week of school. And if we see kids who are riding their bicycles and not being safe, just stop them, have a conversation with them, explain the safe way of operating and riding on a bicycle, and an electric bicycle.
Yasmin Julmas, WPBF 25 News.
Free breakfast and lunch became standard for many schools after the pandemic, but there are some changes that parents need to know about. We checked in with the Palm Beach County School District, and all district-run campuses will offer free breakfast and lunch. In Martin County, free meals will be offered at more than a half a dozen campuses. These schools are taking part of the Community Eligibility Provision Program. 17 St. Lucie County schools are also taking part in that program, which means that they receive free lunch. Other schools have programs where students can apply for discounts or free meals. All district schools offer free breakfast. Let's go to Indian River County. They're using a new online portal to apply for free or reduced meals. Okeechobee County Superintendent tells us the district is offering free breakfast and lunch to students this upcoming academic year.
Well, this is the first official year for Okeechobee County School Superintendent Dylan Tetters.
So he was named the interim superintendent in March after the former superintendent retired. He says he's eager to get the school year started.
It's like hurry up and wait because that bell is going to ring.
This is Dylan Tetters' first year as superintendent for Okeechobee County Schools. Tetters will now lead the same district he went to as a student and worked in for 29 years.
We are sitting right now about 35 instructional vacancies.
To help with teacher shortages, they're using an apprentice program. Paraprofessionals earning their bachelor's degree will be able to teach this year. And when it comes to safety and mental health, it's a top priority.
We have a mental health department that over the last 4 or 5 years has gone from 5 or 6 people to like 27 people. So we have peer counselors, mental health support for every campus in this district.
Tetters says they're embracing AI in the classroom.
There's 2 courses right now that students will be able to work through, and we're just planning on building that career and technical pathway up because, again, it's here to stay, it's in everything we do, and so we have to be able to teach students how to use it effectively and use it as a tool and a resource.
The district is in the process of building a new 250,000 square foot high school on the current property. Since construction is ongoing, about 250 parking spaces will move across the street to 441, changing the traffic flow.
If you haven't been on campus in a while, there's all kinds of fences, there's gates now, there's going to be new traffic patterns. So we're really going to have to do a good job at the beginning to make sure people understand the traffic flow because it is not what it was in May.
Tetters says the new high school will open in 2026. He used to oversee safety for the district and visited Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School after the Parkland mass shooting. While on that tour, he learned the hallways were made of drywall, which means bullets could have gone into the classrooms. Tetters says he immediately made changes in the construction plans for the new high school, making sure the hallways were made of concrete.
Soon, crossing guards, school buses, and students will be making their way back onto the roadways. And as we gear up for the new school year, Yasmin Julmas has what you need to know before hitting the road.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says between 2012 and 2021, 206 school-age children died in crashes that happened heading to or leaving school. 78 of those children were walking. And more kids were killed from 6 a.m. to 6:59 a.m. than any other hours of the day. Since 2012, there have been more than 2,700 school bus crashes in the state of Florida alone. To protect our young ones as more buses and people start filling the streets, here are some reminders. If you're traveling on a road that has one lane in each direction, cars in both directions must stop when a bus puts its stop sign out. If there are multiple lanes and a paved median in between them, cars in both directions still have to stop when the stop sign's out. If there's an unpaved median or barrier, cars in the other direction from the bus don't have to stop, but do need to drive with caution. Parents, remind your children to never sit on the curb while waiting for the bus. Teach them to wait for the bus driver's signal to cross the road and to look both ways and to make eye contact with the driver when crossing too. Children should never walk behind the bus and should stay away from bus wheels at all times. If you pass a stopped school bus on the side where children get on and off, you can face a minimum fine of $265 and 4 points on your driver's license. And a reminder, typing into a handheld wireless device like your cell phone while driving in a school zone is illegal. I have a full list of reminders for parents on our free WPBF 25 News app. Yasmin Julmus, WPBF 25 News.
Good reminders. Yasmin will help you navigate the morning commute as the new school year gets underway. WPBF 25 is the only station in our area with a dedicated traffic anchor helping you get where you need to be on time. She has live updates every weekday morning starting at 4:30 a.m.
Coming up, student athletes making money.
Making income at a young age. So, I mean, who wouldn't be excited about that?
The new Florida law changing the landscape of high school sports.
This hurricane season, find South Florida's only certified most accurate team on these exclusive radio partners. Tune in for daily forecasts, breaking updates, and live broadcasts during a hurricane. Trust WPBF 25 First Warning Weather.
Conversations important to South Florida and communities across America. Sunday morning, watch On the Record at 10, followed by Matter of Fact at 10:30 here on WPBF 25.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television.
My client Miguel Pacheco survived a near-fatal explosion while at work. It was my job to make sure he was treated fairly and justly compensated.
Trey didn't give up. He kept insisting that I needed to get top dollar due to the injuries. What they were offering was not going to work. They helped me through it. They kept me calm, and he negotiated to the end, and to this day, he got what I wanted. I can't thank them enough.
Vital Writer, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrat. Find us at foryourrights.com.
There's so much cleaning to keep up with in your house. The biggest job, cleaning the floors. A once-a-year deep clean from Stanley Steamer helps floors last longer and makes them easier for me to keep clean. Wood, tile, or marble, they know what they're doing. And with their powerful equipment, I know the dirt is removed, not just moved around. There's something about the feeling of clean. And for my family, a clean home isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And Stanley Steamer is who I trust for a once-a-year deep clean.
Call or click to schedule Stanley Steamer.
As Florida's leading academic health system for over 50 years, Tampa General and USF Health Morsani College of Medicine collaborate with esteemed local physicians to deliver innovative treatments forged from game-changing research and academics. And if you need complex care at Tampa General, our ambassadors make coordination and follow-up seamless. Tampa General. Other hospitals practice medicine. We define it.
Here's to taking a back seat, supersized memories with my mini-me. Here's to fresh air, fresh food, and friends that never go home. At Leaders, we know why you choose to call Florida home, and you want furniture built for outdoor Florida living. Custom choices to love, quality that's easy to care for, and prices that make it easy to own. So here's to you, the memory makers and the all-night talkers. Here's to Florida living with Leaders Furniture.
The chance for student athletes to make money off their name, image, and likeness has altered college sports, and now it's going even further.
Yeah, NIL is coming to the high school ranks. In June, the State High School Athletic Association unanimously voted to make Florida the 36th state to allow high school student athletes to profit off NIL.
Sports anchor Yanni Caracas caught up with local football coaches and a man in the business of helping young athletes navigate this new world.
The local stars of Friday Night Lights or any other high school athlete could soon be cashing in.
It's an opportunity for them to make an income at a young age. So, I mean, who wouldn't be excited about that?
So what kind of marketability does a teenager have for a local business? Look no further than their social media reach.
Social media has now become their social resume. So they have their playing career and their athleticism, but you have to be able to show a brand that you have reach.
Kevin Anderson is the CEO of Reach NIL, a platform to help college and now high school students navigate the uncharted NIL waters. The former Boca Raton High School, college, and current XFL quarterback already secured NIL deals for some recent high school standouts that are now at big-time Division I programs. Benjamin's Amari Williams and Micah Mays, Jupiter's Luke Douglas, and Palm Beach Central's Ahmad Haston, to name a few.
How the kids are getting paid, who's paying them, is changing. We hope to create these rich brand relationships just by doing things the right way with our young athletes and just being pioneers at the high school level.
As this continues to evolve, high school students may want to wait before they quit their summer jobs.
I don't think it's really going to affect, too many high school players. I think there's going to be maybe a handful that are affected.
Just because it's legal doesn't mean, there's a line out the door of companies that are wanting to pay high school players a lot of money.
The potential pitfall for high school programs will be players transferring to other schools for NIL opportunity, a potential booster or business owner shelling out cash to create a so-called super team.
It only takes one to say, let's do this. And if that could happen anywhere.
Which boosters, which backers, which community supporters are interested in putting money into a 15 or 16-year-old student athlete.
The NIL ruling was ratified on July 24th. So over the last couple of weeks, schools, players, and guys like Kevin Anderson are figuring out all the logistics.
There is definitely a number of guys that we have circled and have a list of guys that we want to have meetings with.
Yes, high school student athletes are soon open for business.
And high school football season starts August 12th, and our WPBF 25 sports team is getting ready to cover all the highlights. And each Friday, our community ambassador Mike Lyons will be live on the field at a local game, highlighting a community champion, someone who supports the team in a unique way by volunteering their time and talent. You can nominate a community champion by going to WPBF.com or scanning the QR code on your screen. Then watch every Friday starting at 4. We'll be right back.
Enhance your view with ArmorView Window and Door. From window replacements to entry and patio doors, save on your energy bills, reduce unwanted noise, and stay storm safe. The choice is crystal clear. Choose the experts at ArmorView. Get 40% off when you visit our open house this weekend only.
Bucks, Bengals, live Saturday night at 7. And WPBF 25 is your exclusive home for all the preseason gridiron action. Bucks, Bengals, Saturday at 7. Only on WPBF 25. Only one local team wins weather accuracy time and time again. WPBF 25 First Warning Weather. Certified most accurate. Now for 11 years.
#1 in accuracy to help you plan your day.
With severe weather warning days keeping you ahead of storms.
And severe weather alerts to keep you safe. Whether South Florida has always been home, or if it's your home now.
Trust the only team certified most accurate for 11 years. WPBF 25 First Warning Weather.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series, gas, hybrid, or all-electric. These are the deals you've been waiting for. So don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Right now, get a 24 Ford F-150 hybrid for just $302 a month for 36 months. Only at your local Ford dealer.
What's next with Florida Blue? Let's create health solutions that solve problems before they're problems. Like at Florida Blue Centers, with preventive health screenings and nurses standing by. By making healthy things more affordable things. And by going even further, like way out here further. Bringing everyone the access they need to stay on top of their health. Thanks, Doc. Looking good. Let's find health solutions that work for you. Florida Blue, your health solutions partner.
Being a veteran, coming out from Iraq, 2 tours, assuming my duties here, a drunk driver ran in the rear of my vehicle, hitting me and my vehicle, shattering my leg. One of my coworkers referred Kogan and DeSalvo.
We gave him a lot of answers. We gave him a lot of guidance. We were able to get him a good outcome.
I would recommend Kogan and DeSalvo in a heartbeat. Their number is on speed dial.
If you've been injured by a careless driver, call Kogan and DeSalvo right now. The call is free.
Enhance your view with ArmorView Window and Door. From window replacements to entry and patio doors, save on your energy bills, reduce unwanted noise, and stay storm safe. The choice is crystal clear. Choose the experts at ArmorView. Get no interest, no payments for 12 months or affordable monthly payments when you call today.
And before we go tonight, we need to thank all of you who helped us help our local students.
All last week, WPBF 25 partnered with the Boys and Girls Club to make sure students and teachers from the Palm Beaches to the Treasure Coast are well prepared for the school year ahead. Get this, we raised $23,000 and collected 10,000 school supplies. So thank you again for your generosity.
We all know the first day of school can be exciting, but also a little stressful. So we hope that over the past hour, we helped you and your family prepare for it.
WPBF 25 News is your back-to-school station, and we'll be with you every step of the way, bringing you live team coverage across the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast on Monday as students and teachers head back to class.
From all of us on WPBF 25 News Mornings, we wish you and your family a successful start to the new school year.